freeze continues this week. So here's my treadmill. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can run and tell you a story. It's been a while since I've had running partners to talk to, so let's see if I can still do it. So I wasn't always a runner, but it's always been something I've been interested in. So I thought I'd tell a story today of how I dabbled in running before I actually became a runner. So I didn't learn to run until after the birth of my second child, with the running store Fleet Feet, and I've been running ever since then, so a little over a decade. But before that, I was always interested. I just didn't really know how to go about it. So I have a funny story. When I was first married, my husband worked later than I did at the time. And so after work, once in a while, if the weather was nice, I would go walking on this little trail that was near our apartment. And, you know, it was quiet, which I liked. And as you know, I love trails. And it led to a park. And I would always take the same little route. Maybe it was probably not even a half mile. And I'd get to the park and I'd turn around and I'd go back. And along the way, I would see people running. And they'd pass me. And I'd be like, you know, I'd really like to be able to do that. So I'd look around. When nobody was watching, I'd start running. And I never made it very far. Maybe 10 or 20 seconds, I'd be out of breath, frustrated, and I would just walk. And I know now, after learning to run, that I didn't have any idea about pace. So I was literally just like sprinting as fast as I could. And so no wonder why that did not work out. And that's why it's so wonderful that they have running stores and now apps who teach you how to run, because it's not necessarily the skill that just comes naturally. I had no idea. So anyway, this went on for a long time, me trying to do this. And one day, I was like, let me explore these woods a bit more. I'll figure it out. I'll be able to get back. No, horribly lost. Lost the trail entirely. At some point, I am just literally wandering through woods, not on a trail anymore. And this was before people regularly carried cell phones, so I had no phone. No idea where I was. But I can hear distant cars in the background. So I started to head towards the cars. And I think, well, if I can get out to a main road, I should have some idea of where I am. And I do. I managed to get to a main road. I recognized where I was. Realized I was about 1.5 miles from our apartment, but I knew how to get home. So I walked back using the main roads. Oh, look at that. I talked through a whole run intro. So, it didn't deter me from going out again, but I kind of stuck to my little half-mile route that I knew. I don't think I'll ever get direction sense. It's just not there for me, and I've made peace with that, and I find ways around it, and I love GPS in my car and on my phone. So, you know, you make do. But I really wanted to run. I just didn't know how. And so I think in our lives we have to, find the helpers along the way that can get us to where we want to be. And so I strive to do that. Running reminds me to do that because I absolutely love running. How it makes me feel, the emotions it brings up, the connections I make, how it helps me live my regular life. And had I not had helpers to teach me to run, I wouldn't be here right now doing this and loving this. So I try to extrapolate that out to other things in my life. What are my goals? What do I want to do? Who are the helpers that I need to get me there? So that's what I've been thinking about this morning on this treadmill run. So, all right, I hope this worked. See you in a bit. 3 miles, done. Until next time. Good morning. And you guessed it. The temperature is calling for another treadmill day. And you'll get another story of me dabbling in running. Let's go. Okay, so I thought I would tell you another story about how I dabbled in running before I became a runner. So in high school, I had a couple friends who convinced me to join the winter track team. What was funny about this is that none of us had an interest in running. Even the friend who was convincing the other two of us to join, she really just wanted to use the weight room because a lot of winter track focused on that. So we joined and we said we wanted to do shot put. So they gave us strength training exercises to do on this old Nautilus machine. So it was literally in the back room with the boilers because the football team got the brand new weight training equipment that was like actually in a separate room in the gym. But this was perfect for us. We didn't want to be seen. We didn't want to deal with anyone. And so the three of us were in this back room, like, I don't even know, maybe we met 3 or 4 times a week after school. And the girl that got us to join was a really great cheerleader because I was pretty weak. I was, never a sports person, never joined any sports teams unless somebody was trying to get me to do it. I just wasn't an athlete. I was nerdy and quiet. So I had no idea about lifting weights. But I really started to like it. She would help me lift at the end of a rep set when I was having difficulty and my legs were strong. I loved seeing the progress of how I could push more and more weight with my legs. But when it came to the running part, that's where we cheated. So we would do the typical inside high knees, kick your butt down the hallway, couple loops. All that I could do, I was fine. Sit-ups, all that. But then the coaches would send us outside to run a route. And the three of us, we never ran. We had no idea. And they surely weren't teaching us to. So we would walk. And then when the coaches would drive by in their car, we would start running and pretend we had been running the whole time. I'm sure the coaches knew. They just let us do whatever we wanted. And we were fine with that. And we refused to go to any meets. We were the strangest group of team members, but that was a little dabble. And I think it's funny now because I enjoy running, and during my whole time on winter track, I was trying to avoid running at all. Because again, we had the same problem. We would try sometimes. We'd be like, okay, we're going to run to that tree, and then we'll walk a bit, and then we'll run to that tree. But we were just kind of sprinting. We just had no idea. We didn't understand about pace. It wasn't until I bought a running watch that I really understood pace, and that depending on the distance you plan to go, this should dictate what your pace is. And if you want to do distance, you should be able to talk while you're running. If you're going for speed, if you're doing short distance, then no, you shouldn't be able to talk while you're running. They're really two completely different things. And I'm running for joy, so pace is really not that important to me. Being out there is important to me. I do like to sweat, and I do get a runner's high, but if you're somebody who is interested in running or struggling with running, I do recommend a watch. And it doesn't have to be expensive. They have a lot of inexpensive, I think people even use apps to do it, because pace can make a big difference. That was something I learned on my Fleet Feet training group, because I found when I ran with the group, it was really enjoyable. I could hold a conversation. I loved it. And then when I would do my runs on my own, I got frustrated. I was like the mile I had to do, or mile and a half, felt like forever. I was struggling to breathe, and I didn't know what was going on until I got a watch and realized I was running 2 or 3 minutes per mile faster by myself than with the group. And I realized, oh, speed is not what I want. What I want is long and slow and joyful. And so that's where I am. All right, I'm gonna finish this run. Thanks for listening. That's 3 miles done. And I was thinking at the end, I was kind of doing a faster couple of intervals, and just felt kind of in the zone. And however you want to run is okay. If you do like to go fast and keep track of times and hit PRs, that's great. If you don't want to do that, if you want to run slower, you're not concerned about time, or you don't wear a watch, or you do wear a watch, I just want to say it's all okay. Your running is your running, and you should do it the way you want to do it. So I don't want anything that I say that works for me to make you feel like that's the right way or the way it should work for everybody, because I think it is completely individual and it changes. I chased PRs for many years and enjoyed doing that, and that's fine. It's not where I am right now. Doesn't mean that one is better than the other. Just wanted to say that. I was thinking about that after the last segment that I taped. So happy running. Until next time. Good morning. You guessed it. Another treadmill day. Next week it looks to be a little bit warmer, so I'm hoping to be outside. Today, another story of running before I was a runner. Let's go. Okay, so I have one more story of me running before I was a runner. So in college, I had a roommate, and we had 2 suite mates. So 2 rooms connected with a bathroom in the middle. And one night, like evening time, someone came to our room and was like, hey, a bunch of us are going down to the track to run some laps. Do you guys want to come? So we all kind of shrugged and was like, okay. Now my roommate had run in high school. As we know, I was a fake winter runner. And our suite mates, one was a swimmer, and one was in the music department, like the rest of us. So we all said yes. We headed down to the track. I think I was probably wearing the trainers that I had bought in high school for that winter track season. And the idea was to do 4 laps. I wanted to do a mile, and I wanted to do it without stopping. So we started, and my roommate, who had a little experience, she pulled ahead, and I decided to just go slow and steady. Well, one of our suite mates, her foot or her ankle, something was bothering her, and she decided to walk. And her roommate walked with her, and as I was coming around, they asked if I wanted to join in, And I felt guilty to say no, because I felt bad that her foot hurt. But I thought, well, she has a roommate, and I really want to see if I can do this. So I declined, and I kept going. And I did manage to finish all 4 laps without stopping. And it was just slow and steady. And I was really proud of myself. And that was literally the only running I did in college. Just this one random evening under lights on a deserted track for my university. So I think I've always been interested in running, fascinated by it, but wasn't really sure it was for me. And when I was in lots of mommy groups when my kids were small, I hear women talk about training for this half marathon or this marathon, or when I did this marathon. It just really intrigued me. I was like, I'm interested in this. Maybe I should try. And when I got the email from Fleet Feet saying they have this new No Boundaries program starting, where you learn to run a 5K, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it's led me here. So things just happen the way they happen. So I think that's all the stories I have about running before I was a runner. Let's hope that the weather improves and we can get back outside next week and see some beautiful trails. Okay, I'm gonna finish this run. That's 3 miles on the treadmill finished, and that's also the end of another vlog. Hopefully next week will find us outside, and until then, I hope this week you can find some joy in your journey. Thanks for watching. Until next time.